She is even an expert in subjects like cloud computing. I request Professor Vinita Nair to please start with the session.
Thank you, Jenny ma'am, for the kind introduction. So, good morning, everybody. Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Yeah, fine. So, today we have here to talk upon the topic unstructured database using MongoDB. Now, there is just a slide. You have to tell me either you can unmute your mic or you can tell me the slide is about what. Just a minute, I'm sharing my screen. I hope the screen has been visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So you have to tell me what is the theme behind this particular image. Either you can put down in the chat or you can unmute your mic and tell me. Can anybody do an attempt? No one? At least you can identify the objects in this image. Is the screen not visible to you? Okay. Just let me know. Object in this image.
Ma'am,
You
your
can put down
audio.
your answer in the chat. Hello? Hello? Yeah,
Ma'am,
am I
audio is
audible
not clear.
now?
Yes.
Yeah. The image which is visible on the screen, can you put down in the chat what this page is about? Any guesses? Identify the object. Nobody? It's a food chain. Okay. It is a food chain. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, let me explain. Now, this is an image of a jumping monkey game. Fine. What is there? It is you can correlate with the traveling salesman problem, or you can see that there is a monkey. You want to migrate from several locations, and what is the destination is this tree. Okay, and when he is moving from different locations, you have to collect different bananas and have to reach the final destination.
Students, please be on the line. I think there is some network issue. Vinita ma'am will be joining in a few moments.
Sorry everybody for the disturbance. Am I audible now? Kindly let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So moving ahead with the screen. As I told that there is a monkey and he want to reach the destination, that is the tree, and while he is moving he have to collect various components on the way. Okay, and he have to choose the right path in order to reach there on using minimum resource. Okay, now that is our goal also, that we will be going to unstructured database. We can say that we are standing here at this and we have to reach the tree which is our MongoDB. Okay, so in order to reach our destination, we have to go through various stages and then we will be moving toward our final destination, that is MongoDB. Okay, that was the reason why I kept this image. Now, moving ahead, this is the agenda which we will be discussing today. I will be covering one after one. We will be starting with big data, and later on we will be moving towards different topics. Okay, so starting with the first one, what is big data? Can anybody let me know? Have you heard about the term big data? Anybody? Anybody who can reply? I'll put in the message down in the chat. You unmute and reply.
Ma'am, your
Anybody
voice is
who
not
have
clear.
heard of big data? Have you heard about the term data? I think here everybody is knowing something or else about data. What do you understand by data? My participants are not interacting. See, if we will interactive, both will enjoy the session. Yeah. Am I audible now? Yeah, Maharshi? Yeah, can anybody tell me what do you understand by big data or something about data? We every day come across large amount of data or some data which we frequently use. Nobody? Okay, Krishna has answered that query desired data from the database. Okay, good. Fine. So we will be coming across as my participants are not replying. So I'm happy that they don't know about big data. So it's good to me that I will be the person who will share the knowledge of big data. Okay, Saurabh has also answered data means raw information. Okay, good. Fine. Now big data by a term, we understand big data, that is large volume of data. Data which is in uh, data which is in a large amount. Am I clear now? Am I not audible? Hello. Hello.
Hello? Hello? Am I audible now? Yeah, kindly confirm. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Yes. Sorry and thank you for keeping so patience. Okay, let us continue with the content. So I was asking you that what about is a big data? So I can say that the data which is very big, fine. But how will define a big data? We know that something which is big in size is something big, fine. but how we can measure the data in terms of a big data term. Right? So we will be discussing what big data is, the source of big data, and the characteristics of big data. Okay. So moving ahead, now these are some of the topics which we will be covering ahead. What is big data, the source of big data, and the characteristics of big data. Okay. So this is a, we can't say that this is a definition, exact definition of big data, but we can say that the data which is in a large volume of transaction and their history, which is collected from variety of data source for any business need to make optimized decision making. Now you can see that I have highlighted some terms with a different color. Fine. That the data which is in large volume, the data which is coming from variety of data source. Okay, variety of data source means they are coming from different inputs. Fine. And they, those data are used for the business need, for solving some issues. Okay. And the goal of any data should be to make optimized and a better decision making. Fine. So in this image also you can see that there is a mobile being connected, and that mobile has been connected to various things. It has been connected to a person, it is connected to an email, it is connected to a image file, it is connected to sensor. Fine. So the thing which we have to explore right now is the volume of data coming from different sources, and for making better decision making. Okay. Fine. Now I have explored one more image. That is, you can see that on the left hand side, I am having various source of data. You can see in the image that I am having a sensor, I am having a laptop, I am having a server. So we can say that data is coming from different sources. The middle portion is the amount of data which is coming from these different sources, and which is in a very large volume of data. And on the right hand side, by making some process, we are making better decision. Right? So what I explain in this is represented in a pictorial format over here. Okay. Now I will tell what exactly the big data is. Now you can identify by the terms. There are some key terms in this slide, that it should be in a large volume of data. It should be coming from different sources. It should be having a goal in order to make a better decision making. Okay. So I'm putting one more image, and you have to tell me what this image is about. I hope the screen is visible and my voice is also clear. So I should have a good response now. Can anybody tell me what this images or what this link are representing? GLS website. Okay, good. Source of information. Yeah.
Web pages or a website on the internet.
Okay, good. Nilesh. Okay. Jaimin, Krishna, Nilesh all have replied the right answer. You can see that these links are the sources to reach our GLS MSc Fine. But there are not a single form in order to reach the website or in order to reach our department. You can see that there are various pathways to reach our organization. It may be by our website. It may be the website of the university. It may be a LMS website. It may be a local LMS website, or the area where the website information are being received. Okay, it can be from the Facebook page. Fine. These all are representing the presence of our department on various areas, on various platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google Play Store, and the Apple Play Store, where there are various applications being developed and deployed by the students of our department. So you can see that in order to reach to our department, there are various pathways to reach our department. Same way, the big data is also having different sources to reach our in order to reach to the destination. Okay, now what are the different ways? What are the source of big data? Fine, so we have covered the first thing, that what big data is about. It is in a large volume, it is solving certain problem, it is coming from different variety of source. Now what are the sources of big data? Fine, anything which is in a large volume is considered as a big data. We are not currently focusing whether that data is a processed information or not. Fine. So we have to identify that what are the sources from which the big data is coming. कहाँ से ये big data generate हो रहा है. So you can see the image that this large volume of data is generated from different domains. For example, it can be a image and media. It can be a click stream. Fine. What do you understand by a click stream? Anybody? Anybody can tell me what is a click stream? Did you click on the link to join the Google Meet? Yes, you click the click stream. Fine. And currently we are recording our sessions. I am sharing some images. I am sharing my video. I am sharing my voice. So all thing what we are doing right now is we are ultimately generating this big data. Okay. So click stream. Yeah, click stream. As Krushi has replied, that may be record of users activity. Yes, I am coming to that point again. So clickstream is also one of the source. Another is social networking site. Now we can find very few people who are not on social networking site, and it has become a very important essential part of all our life. Then it can be a HTML page, it can be a sensor data, it can be a email, location and database. Okay, image and media, you know what are images and media files. Fine, that is also the data which has been generated in high volume. Clickstream, fine. As Krushi has replied that it can be recorded for some user activity. Now, if I say that if you are visiting a e-commerce website, okay, if you are intent to buy something, you will go and search that product. Okay, while searching that product, you may get interest into another product. You may go and search another product on the website, and you may be given certain suggestions also, that a person who is buying a mobile phone can be buying a hands free, can be buying a antivirus package, can buy a screen guard. Fine, so these are the different suggestions being given. Now whenever I'm visiting for the second time also, I may be prompted by the suggestions based on the latest or the last search which I have done, and my session is also being stored, that what I have searched for or what I have added to my cart. So all this activity come into the category of the click stream, and you can see that I am just browsing the website. I am not buying anything. I am doing website shopping. Window shopping abhi kar nahi sakte. So I am doing a website shopping. So you can see that my session is active and it is generating large volume of data. Fine. Another is a social networking site. That is one of a very big platform which is generating this big data. We are having social networks where we share our image, media file, people put their comment, people share your post, they put their reviews. Fine, so you can see based on that single data, what all information have been associated with that single data. Then we have our website pages, which come into a HTML category. Then we have a sensor. Okay? Sensor and location, I can combine it. For example, if I have ordered something, it can be any product, or it can be any food. I have placed an order using Zomato or Swiggy, and I am very hungry. Okay, and I am tracking. मैं track कर रही हूँ कि मेरा parcel कहाँ पहुँचा है. So I am very happy to see that it is out of the kitchen. Now it is moving ahead. It has reached my destination. So every now and then, or if I have booked a car or a cab, right? So I have to see what is the location of that particular cab. So I am generating that data every second when I am checking the status of that particular data. Right? Another category is the email. Now we know that the email is having a particular format, that is to CC, then BCC, fine, and the subject. But the subject cannot be limited. It has to be and it can have any type of information, right? So that is one of the source, and the regular database can also come into the category of the big data. So we saw that the second parameter which we discussed was variety of data. The data is coming to a single place from different locations. So I had mentioned in this particular slide that we are talking about GLS MSIT, but in order to reach GLS MSIT, there are various there are various pathways to reach our website. Okay, so same way we are coming to big data, but we are coming through different sources of big data. Okay, so that was about the source of big data. Now, which I had in my first slide was that it is in a large volume and it is variety of data. So we have to discuss the characteristics of big data also. Yeah, now it is visible, I think. So these are the characteristics of big data, how I will identify or how I can differentiate my data into a regular data or into a big data. Okay, if I want to
Students, please be there. Ma'am will be joining soon. Huh? Okay, she is here.
yeah, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, audible, ma'am.
Okay. I'm deeply sorry for this disturbance. Somebody
Yeah,
have
yeah, that's all okay.
unmuted their mic. Yeah, kindly unmute your mic. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. So we were talking about the characteristics of big data. I hope I was clear till this.
share.
So we were talking about the characteristics of big data. So we saw two of the characteristics, that was large volume and variety of data. Okay, but that is not the end. If I want to identify and differentiate data, I should at least know some characteristic of data in order to differentiate. Okay, so these are the parameters by which I can differentiate my regular data and my big data. See, I have to characterize that this click stream or the image or the location or the sensor has to be categorized into a normal data or into a big data. So these are the characteristics by which I can differentiate my big data. Okay, so one we have already discussed, that is large volume of data. So large volume of data is something which is generated in very large amount and it is being generated on every second. Then we saw the variety of data. That variety of data means that is coming from different sources. Okay, now here it is, the term is written, can use structured and unstructured data. We are coming to this point. Then we can say the next characteristic is the velocity, the speed at which the data is generated. Okay, if I am going to a e-commerce portal or I am going to my social media page, I am not doing anything. I am just keeping my page idle for some period of time. Though I am not doing any activity, as my login is active and my page is being reloaded again and again, there is large volume of data being generated. And one of the characteristic of big data is that it is generated at a very high speed. See, if I go to a relational database, I am talking about a banking database. Okay, until and unless I am doing some banking transaction, that transaction will not be recorded in my table. Fine, that will not be recorded in my bank database. But that is not the case of our big data. Okay, if I am just logged in into a page or I am putting my page idle, then also we can say that the data has been generated at a very high speed. The next characteristic about is value. Okay, now we know that if it is coming from different source of data, how I will use that data for some productive activity. Okay, if I am having a person who there is a person and people of different languages are coming and speaking to him in a different language. Fine, people are using different languages to interact with him. But if that person is not able to interrupt different language, he or she may not be able to reply back or he may not have a productive interaction. Okay, so we have to have a person who is understanding all the languages. Same way, if data is coming in a different format, there has to be some tool or application which convert the data into a single form. जैसे कि language mediator होता है. The role of a language mediator is to convert the language into one form into another. Okay, so and the fifth characteristic of the big data is veracity, that is the trust at which the data is being generated. Okay, so these are the five characteristics of big data. Now, as I told, that all these characters have to be identified and have to converted into a productive information. So that activity is done by big data analytics. Okay, we are not going into detail of big data analytics, but as I mentioned, I have to give the answer also, that big data analytical tool help us to have a single platform to convert all this volume of data, different value of data, velocity of data into a single form. Okay, so this is what we have to discuss on the first slide, which I had mentioned, that what big data is about, what are the different sources of big data, and the characteristics of the big data. Okay, now somebody can summarize fastly. Anybody can summarize what we discussed? We discussed what is big data, then we discussed about the source of big data and characteristics of big data. I know it was an interrupted session, but can anybody summarize, at least give me some keywords so that I can identify that it is true for you? No answers? That have only two meaning. Either it is clear or it is not clear. So it is up to me, na, whatever I have to take. Okay, so I have a video for you. I'm just playing that video. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that video is something what I told in a summarized manner. Okay, so you saw in the video that the data was being generated from different sources. That is, you are Google searching, you are using sensor, you are using tracking location, a self-driven car. You can see large volume of data is being generated, and machine learning are also replacing humans. You can see the people in the board of director committee. Fine. So all this data which is coming from different source are have to be used in a productive manner. Okay, so there comes the big data analytics which help us to convert the data into a better form. Fine. Now moving ahead, Okay, now you can see on the slide that a survey was being conducted by a chronicle, that is a IT chronicle, and these are the statistics which have been out. Fine. So on a daily basis, there are 500 million tweets which have been sent. Fine. There are 294 billions of email being sent. There are 4 petabytes of data being created on a Facebook, 4 petabyte of data being created by connected cards or different devices. Then we have 65 billion messages, more than 65 billion messages on WhatsApp, and 5 billion searches have been made. This is a number or a statistic given by this chronicle. Fine, you can see this number that on every portal or on every source there is a large volume of data being generated. It is not about counting data, 1 2 3, it is billion and petabyte and terabyte of data. So we can see that this amount of data is being generated on every day, and we can't avoid any of this particular portal or any of the sites in order to interact today, because as it is a life of social distancing right now. So what has to be done? Now this can't be avoided. This is a large volume of data being generated. So how to work upon this large volume of data to have a productive data out of it? Okay, so there comes the category. We can categorize our data into three different categories, that is structured, semi-structured and unstructured data. We talked about different data coming from different volume, coming with different variety in different volume from different sources. So how we categorize those data? So all this big data can be categorized into three categories, that is structured, semi-structured and unstructured. Now I can say that the monkey has already reached milestone number 1. He has collected some bananas of big data, and now he is moving ahead to categorize the data into different form. So now again question time. Can anybody tell me or can uh, tell me what is the difference between these images? Now these images are colored enough so you can differentiate what these images are representing. As I told, this large volume of data or big data can be categorized into three categories based on the data which it has collected. It can be a structured, it can be a semi-structured, and it can be unstructured data. So can you differentiate from the image or from the color that what it can be? Yeah, as Krishna has given the answer, that structured means proper formatting like table. Unstructured data can be raw. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. Now from the image you can see the structured data, all the small tiles are of same color and same shape. All the small boxes are of blue color. You will not see variation, or variation will be of only very minute variation. Fine. In the semi-structured data, okay, I will come to unstructured data. You can see that there are small boxes, and those all boxes are of different color, and they are positioned at different index. Okay, they are not on a single row or a single column. They are placed randomly. Okay, and semi-structured data you can see some are random and some are of a same color, same shape, and they are in the single column. Okay, so let me define this term. Structured, as Krishna told, they are having a particular format. Okay, जैसे कि हमारा RDBMS होता है, ठीक है? You all know about relational database systems. For example, if I have a student table, I have to generalize my columns at enrollment number, name, gender, course enrolled, fine, and etc. So in a RDBMS database, I should have a particular format. Now, in a unstructured data, nothing I have in a format. I don't have any data in a particular format. So if I say I don't have a format, means anything can come into my system, anything can be raw, all the data may be processed, some data may be processed and some data may not be processed. Okay. So you can imagine a system which do not have a validation, which can accept any data. So what different variety of data I can receive? Okay, so unstructured data is not having a format, and it is not following a particular sequencing or ordering of the data. Everything there is random and raw. Okay, and in the middle one you can see semi-structured data. Some are raw and some are having a particular format. Okay, so it is a combination of both. Some may be format and some may not be in a particular format. Some may be raw. Okay, so I am having an example on the next slide, that how what I can categorize as a structural data, that is relational data, RDBMS data. Semi-structured data can be your XML, can be a JSON data, and the unstructured data can be your Word, PDF, your text, your media, your log file, your location data, your sensor data. All this come into the category of unstructured data. Okay. Now I am having a slide where I can compare my structured data and my unstructured data. But now I want from you all, what will be there in a relational database? If I tell you to describe a RDBMS or a table, how will you define or how will you express your views on a table? Now you all know about RDBMS. Okay. Now kindly give me your inputs, that if I have a table, what will be there in a table? Now I should say that I am not able to hear you. Are you all speaking? What do you understand by a RDBMS? Or what is there in a table? Yeah, as Jamin has answered, information about entity. Okay. Table should have column and row. Every single cell contain a single value. Okay, good. Saurabh has replied. Table is a collection of rows and column. Very good. Okay, as you can see in the structured data, the first image. The first image is the same thing which Jamin, Krishna and Saurabh has replied. The table is having rows and columns. Okay. Now, we can say that in a relational database, the data is always represented in terms of rows and columns. Okay. When you create a table, what are the things which you have to mention while creating a table? Whenever you create a table, what are the parameters which you have to consider while creating a table? No parameters? Can I generate a table randomly? No answers? Those who have already answered about table can reply. Yeah, Isha. Data type like string number. Very good. Okay, can anybody give me a syntax of a table student? The RDBMS syntax of creating a table student? Yeah, Saurabh has replied column, data type, primary key. Good. Anybody? Syntax of creating a table. Table student. स्टूडेंट टेबल क्रिएट करना है आपको, तो आप सिंटेक्स क्या लिखोगे? क्रिएट टेबल, टेबल नेम। अच्छा, स्टूडेंट टेबल क्रिएट करना है, कौन सिंटेक्स लिखेगा? एकदम परफेक्ट सिंटेक्स। ऑल कैन पुट देयर अटेम्प्ट। आई विल नॉट पेनलाइज अगर आप इनकरेक्ट होगे, nor I will prompt an error. Create table student, ठीक है, वहां पे खत्म हो जाता है create table student। आगे क्या होता है? create table student semicolon। okay, I am also getting variety of data। So I should be able to process this variety of data. Okay, any other forms of creating a table? Okay, so I would summarize. Yeah, Isha has replied. Create table student, roll number, integer 2, primary key, name, varchar 20. Okay, good. Yeah, very good. Krishna also. Fine. So Isha, Krishna, and others have also replied that create table. Then I have to specify the table name. Then I have to specify the column name, the size of the column, the data type of the column, and the constraint if I want to apply. Okay? It is not always that we have to put a constraint, but generally a ideal RDBMS always demand a constraint. ओके सो कितनी सारी चीज़ें मुझे मेंशन करनी पड़ रही है. एक तो टेबल क्रिएट करो, आईडी बनाओ, फिर उसका डेटा टाइप सेट करो, उसका साइज सेट करो, देन उसके कंस्ट्रेंट्स क्या है वो सेट करो, many things while I am just creating my table. ठीक है, but these all things are not found in the unstructured data. We will come to it. Okay, so there are various parameters which have to be set in a structured data or in a RDBMS data while we are creating just our table. अब जब डेटा अंदर आ रहा है टेबल में तब तो अलग ही कंस्ट्रेंट अप्लाई होता है. ठीक है, so we can see the third image is representing the statistics of this relational database which has been occupied in the worldwide market. It is just 20%. Okay, we can say that current scenario is using 20% of the data in terms of RDBMS. So what about that 80% data? That you can see that 80% is over here. Okay, now let us move ahead in the structured data. It requires less storage. Obviously, the relational database are flat systems. They require less storage. So that is also one of the advantage, and it is easier to manage and protect the legacy solution. Fine. So this all is talking about advantages of RDBMS. तो अब स्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा इतना अच्छा चल ही रहा है, इतना अच्छा है ही, तो अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा की क्या बात करना, या क्यों चाहिए हमें अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा? When everything is following a rule, when everything is working fine, why there is a need of a unstructured data? Is there a need? Can we live without unstructured data? Can our IT systems can work without unstructured data? The answer will be no. Fine. What current market is telling about is we can't only work using relational database. ऐसा नहीं है कि unstructured data ने structured data को replace कर दिया. No. But we can say both of them are working equally in our systems. अगर मैं कोई application बना रही हूँ और अगर उसमें मैं tracking provide नहीं करती हूँ, उसमें image या video capture करने की functionality नहीं देती हूँ, ठीक है, then I am not able to store my log files. I am not able to share that data to another friend or others. ठीक है, then nobody will use my that application or a website if I am not able to give all this functionality. Okay, or if I am not able to share anything on my social media, so nobody will come to my website and nobody will use that application. So in this current scenario or in this IT global time, we have to rely on both the things, that is structured and unstructured data. Now let us see what unstructured data is. It cannot be represented in rows and columns. Fine. अब हमने ये तो डिस्कस कर लिया है कि this is having a format, this doesn't have a format. तो डेटा वहाँ पे rows and columns में represent नहीं कर सकते. Then here we are seeing that it is having number, date and string. And here we are having images, audio, word processing file, email, spreadsheet, location, sensor, बहुत कुछ है यहाँ पे. वो पर फॉर्मेट में भी नहीं है, ठीक है, बट यू कैन सी the current IT market is using 80% of this enterprise data, which is a unstructured data. Okay, and as it is not having a particular format, as it is randomly, it require more storage. Fine, I can tell an analogy for requiring more storages that many a times what happens, आपके मम्मा आपका कबर्ड बहुत अच्छे से अरेंज कर देते हैं. Okay, some days after your mama is opening your wardrobe and everything fall on her. What an embarrassing situation, but she knows that उनका बच्चा तो ऐसे ही करने वाला है. What happened when she was placing everything on a particular rack, she was managing your clothes, your books on a good format. Okay, so आपके कबर्ड में बहुत जगह थी तो वहां पे लेस स्टोरेज हुआ. अब आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो, सबसे नीचे वाली शर्ट या आपका टॉप निकाल रहे हो, ठीक है, उसको पहना, नहीं अच्छा लगा, रख दिया. बुक डंप कर रहे हो, कुछ भी इधर उधर पड़ा है आपके कबर्ड में, तो ऑब्वियस है जब रैंडम होगा, कोई फॉर्मेट में नहीं होगा, तो वो ज्यादा स्पेस ऑक्यूपाई करेगा ही करेगा. सेम वे इज हैपनिंग इन अवर अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा ऑल्सो. ओके, बट वी हैव सोल्यूशन फॉर इट ऑल्सो. एंड द लास्ट पॉइंट इज it is more difficult to manage and protect that data because of various reasons. Okay, now anybody can summarize this. And anybody can summarize unstructured. It cannot be stored in rows and columns. It is coming from different sources of data. Okay, it is coming in large volume of data. It is requiring more storage. It cannot be, we can't protect that data using our regular security measures. Okay, those all are the issues जो वहाँ पे solved थे पर यहाँ पे unsolved है. So, but we can't avoid this data also. And we have these issues also which have to be handled further. So there came a solution in order to handle this unstructured data, that is NoSQL database. Okay, when I am not able to manage this data, कुछ तो हमें solution चाहिए होगा, because our current applications cannot work with this unstructured data. Fine. So I require something which will be able to manage this raw data, the unstructured data, the large volume of data in a better manner. So there came the term that is NoSQL database. I can tell it as also NoSQL. Okay? SQL, either you can pronounce it as NoSQL or either you can pronounce it as NoSQL. Fine. So in order to manage that data, I require some database which is called as a NoSQL. Okay. So I am not able to manage my wardrobe. So I will call my sibling, my elder brother or my sister who will help me out ताकि मुझे मेरे मॉम के डांट से मैं बच सकूं. ठीक है, वही चीज है यहाँ पे. नाउ द मंकी हैज रीच्ड द सेकंड माइलस्टोन ऑफ कलेक्टिंग द बनानास टू रीच हिज फाइनल डेस्टिनेशन. ओके, so this is our second milestone, NoSQL database. Now here again I have mentioned certain keywords by using a different color, that NoSQL is a database management system. It is used for storage and retrieval of unstructured data, and it is on a distributed environment. Right? And it provides scalability, performance, availability, agility. Okay, we are not going to those parameters, but what NoSQL database help us is to store the data and to retrieve the data in a better manner. Fine. Now these are some of the examples which I have mentioned. These are the tools which have been available in the market which are supporting this NoSQL database. You might be knowing some terms. Simple DB, MongoDB को मैंने green में रखा है because that is the final destination. हमारा tree है जहाँ पे हमें monkey को पहुँचाना है. Then Google Big Table, Hadoop, MapReduce, and MemCacheDB. So these are some of the tools which are working on NoSQL database. Fine. So let us understand what this NoSQL database is. See, if you remember, again I am summarizing. We started with big data, then we categorized the big data, fine, and then we talked about structured and unstructured data. Now, in order to manage that unstructured data, we require a database, and we can't use a RDBMS over here. We require something which is above the RDBMS. So there came NoSQL database, and it is also referred as not only SQL. Fine. अब SQL के पैरामीटर्स, SQL के फीचर्स क्या है वो आप अच्छे से जानते हो. ठीक है, we will come to the slide again, but here you already know what the SQL is. All the data is in terms of a row and column. स्प्रेडशीट जैसा, ठीक है, हमारे एक्सेल शीट जैसा है कि सब कुछ रोज एंड कॉलम्स में है, पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट में है. फाइन. So, but we have to explore the right one, that is NoSQL database. Fine. So here the database is storing this unstructured data in any of this format only. ठीक है, अब RDBMS में अगर मुझे डेटा स्टोर करना है, I have to compulsorily create a table. ठीक है, table with certain constraints. I have to put my data into my table. If I want a correlation, I have to establish my primary key, foreign key, unique key constraints. Okay, that is the format which has been followed in a RDBMS. Now, NoSQL database is also following a particular format. The data should be stored in only one of this form. Fine. It can be stored कोई भी एक ही टाइप में ही डेटा स्टोर किया जाएगा. Fine. It can be a key value pair, it can be a columnar family, it can be a graph database, or it can be a document data. Okay, I'm coming to the individual explanation, but all the data in a NoSQL database कोई भी इन चारों में से एक ही कैटेगरी को बिलोंग करेगा. ठीक है, तो वी कैन सी कि हमारे पास वहाँ पे एक ही ऑप्शन था, अब यहाँ पे 4 ऑप्शंस है in order to store our data. Fine. This is a format where the NoSQL database is accommodating the data. So let us explore the first category, that is a key value pair. Now, what do you understand by a key value pair? Key and a value pair. You have learned in Java. Okay, you have learned in JSON. Anybody? Key has a value. Okay, if I'm just if I keep an example of not a IT, I'm having a lock and I'm having a key. Okay, for a particular lock, only that particular key will be used in order to lock and unlock that particular lock. ठीक है, मेरे पास एक ताला है और मेरे पास एक चाबी है. वो ही चाबी को यूज करके मैं आइदर वो ताला खोल सकती हूँ या उसको बंद कर सकती हूँ. ठीक है, इट हैव टू बी वेरी स्पेसिफिक. अगर मैं कोई और की यूज करूंगी या चाबी यूज करूंगी तो आई कांट मैनिपुलेट माई दैट लॉक. ओके, या इट कैन बी लाइक डिक्शनरी ऑल्सो, राइट. सो आई हैव टू बी वेरी स्पेसिफिक. सेम वे हियर ऑल्सो देर इज वन की एंड देर इज वन वैल्यू. ओके, जैसे कि माई नेम, आई एम हैविंग अ स्पेसिफिक नेम, फर्स्ट नेम, वो भी मुझे स्पेसिफिक बोलना पड़ेगा. सो माई फर्स्ट नेम इज विनीता. So I am having a key first name and the value is very specific. It is to be written as Vinita. That is 1 to 1. One key have one value. And you can see in the image also, वो भी एक spreadsheet जैसा ही दिख रहा है और एक sequence में है. ठीक है, तो I can say this is a key value pair. The left hand one is the key and the right hand one is the value. Okay, this is the most simplest way to store data in a NoSQL database. Okay, the second category is a columnar family. You can see यहाँ का जो है वो multiply हो गया यहाँ पर. I can say कि यहाँ पे जो data है they are stored in terms of matrix way, और I can say कि सभी columns को एक साथ merge करके based on the same columns or a selected columns the search happen in a columnar family. You can see that some indexes are blurred. ठीक है, और कुछ indexes में value है 1 1 1 करके है, यहाँ पे blank है. So I can say the data over here is stored in terms of a matrix. ठीक है, matrix में कैसा होता है कि we have to access the value by using a x coordinate and a y coordinate. If I don't put a perfect x and y coordinate, I can't reach that particular cell. Okay, so the second category of storing the data in a NoSQL database is columnar family. The third one is a document storage. You can see यहाँ का जो index है, यहाँ पे जो image है वो image को यहाँ पे use किया है. ठीक है, these are my column. This is my column. This is row number 1, row number 2 and row number 3. And this individual row is pointing to a whole document. ठीक है, now document I can say if I am reading a book, that book can have several chapters, that several chapter can have several pages. Now each chapter may have different images, can have different keywords, can have word, can have vowels, I can have multiple letters. ठीक है, बहुत कुछ उस एक पेज के अंदर हो सकता है या वो एक बुक के अंदर हो सकता है. Same way the document storage database is having document for the storage, and one document can consist of many things. It can consist of image, it can consist of video, it can consist of link, okay, it can consist of word, many things. Okay, so यहाँ पे index में सब कुछ स्टोर हो रहा है, ठीक है, इंडेक्स में पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट स्टोर हो रहा है. दैट इज द थर्ड कैटेगरी ऑफ द डेटा स्टोरेज. नाउ द फोर्थ कैटेगरी is a graph database. You can see by the image that there are various nodes and all the nodes are being connected by the vertex. Can anybody put an attempt to identify कि कोई एप्लीकेशन है या कोई वेबसाइट है जो ग्राफ डेटाबेस यूज करता है? ठीक है, आई एम हैविंग अ नोड, देयर आर वेरियस नोड्स व्हिच हैव बीन कनेक्टेड टू मी, दिस नोड इज कनेक्टेड टू अनदर नोड and there are other sub nodes which are connected to this main node. Can anybody tell me?
मैम फेसबुक और गूगल मैप्स.
Yeah, very good. ठीक है, yeah, good. We can say the social networking site, the social networking applications are using the graph database. ठीक है, I am a friend of a person ABC. ठीक है, this is me. I am a friend of ABC. I am also a friend of XYZ. I am also a friend of MNO. Fine. Now I am having another friend 123. Now he is also having a friend. Okay, I may not be associated with that person directly, but I am associated with this person. So somehow I am connected with these two also. You may get a mutual friend suggestion आपको जो Facebook पे आता है, ठीक है, वो इसके basis पे ही आता है. So I can say the all social networking site are using this graph database in order to store their information. Okay, so these four different format of data which is used in a NoSQL database to store this variety and volume of data. Okay, so this is I can store the data in only any one of this format. It should be in a key value pair, or it should be in a graph database, or a columnar family, or a document based. Okay, so as the webinar is about MongoDB, the MongoDB comes into the category of a document store. Okay, the whole document is stored at a particular index, and that document can consist of various very large volume of data. Fine. So MongoDB comes into the category of document based model. Now here there is an example. What I explained is extreme over here. Now this is the image. This is an image which is representing different tools which are using NoSQL database and of storages of different type. For example, if I go to a document, so I can see my MongoDB over here. Okay, some of the terms may or may not be familiar to you. Amazon पता है सबको, ठीक है? Amazon DynamoDB comes into columnar storage. Graph database, social networking site, they are using Neo4j. Okay, then key value pair. तो ये सारे टूल्स मार्केट में अवेलेबल है जो इन चारों कैटेगरी में काम करता है. और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि ये जो टूल है वो ये एक ही कैटेगरी में काम करेगा. देयर आर वेरियस टूल्स विच आर अवेलेबल, कैन accommodate one or more than one form of data also. Okay, but our focus is on MongoDB, which is storing the data in terms of a document store. Fine. Now these are some of the companies. अब milestone 3 पे पहुंच गया है हमारा monkey. Now these are some of the companies which are using MongoDB. You can see some very popular companies which are using MTV, okay, eBay, SAP, McAfee, then CNN, that is a news company, then Pearson, Cisco, GitHub. GitHub is very popular among students. Right? So you can see these are some of the list. There are more than 200 companies. You can visit the website of MongoDB and you can see that there are various companies which are using MongoDB for their data storage of unstructured database. These are some of them which I have listed over here. Okay, so these are some of the companies which are using MongoDB for their data storage. Now we will quickly move on to the hands-on of MongoDB, and I will come again to this particular slide. So what do you require when you have to work on a MongoDB? Okay, can anybody tell me MongoDB is of which data storage? चारों में से कौन सा data storage use करता है? Columnar, key value, document or graph? Document. Okay, so is it clear to everybody that MongoDB is using document based model for the storage of its unstructured data, and that unstructured data is a big data which is coming from different volume, different locations in different form. Fine, so we have to now understand how we have to work on a MongoDB. I will just give an introductory part of working on a MongoDB database. Okay, I have already installed that MongoDB on my machine. If you want, you can go to the website of MongoDB, that is its official website. You can download the setup. The latest version is 4.2.3, which is available. You can go and download the setup from the MongoDB itself. Fine.
બહુ જ યાર સખત આમ સહેજ આપણને વોશરૂમ જોઈએ ને આપણે જવું જ પડશે, કોઈ ઓપ્શન નથી.
So I have already installed my MongoDB, and you can see that as I'm having a Windows machine, it is on my program file. On my program file, I am having a folder as a MongoDB, and I'm having my folder as a server. The version which has been installed is a 3.2 version. The version is 3.2. And inside my 3.2 folder, I am having a bin folder. Okay. Now there is various exe files which have been available. Now you just have to use two exe files. One is the MongoDB exe. And see, the installation is also very quick and very easy. So if it is कोई भी machine हो, iOS machine, Mac machine, Windows या आपका Ubuntu, कहीं पे भी आप MongoDB easily install कर सकते हो. See, now MongoDB.exe is your server. Fine. Now this is working based on a client server model. So what I did is I initialized my server and then I will call my client. Okay. The client exe is my Mongo. Sorry. Yeah. My client exe is my Mongo. Fine. Two files which you have to initialize. One is your MongoDB.exe to initiate your server, and then is your Mongo for initiating your client terminal. You can see a terminal. Fine. There are various ID being available in the market which you can combine with your MongoDB. जैसे आपको PHP पे वर्क करना है, you can go to your MySQL terminal and also work. And आप क्या करते हो, आप XAMPP भी इंस्टॉल करते हो जिससे आपको एक ID प्रोवाइड होता है, and you can manipulate your database using that ID. So here also there is a ID being available. I'm just putting in the chat. There is a ID being available which will help you to have a better, yeah, it is MongoDB Atlas, sorry. Okay, this is the ID which has been available, जो आपको एक अच्छा सा UI प्रोवाइड करेगा. Otherwise you have to work with this boring terminal, black and white terminal पे काम करना है. So I have not installed that MongoDB Atlas. I will show you by using my terminal. Okay. Now you can see that the terminal का icon change हो गया. Now I am having my client terminal to work for my Mongo database. ठीक है, MongoDB use कर सकते हैं. Now in order to show my databases, I can write the command show DBS. ठीक है, RDBMS में आप क्या करते थे, select star from tab, या describe table करते हो in order to see the structure. अब मुझे जितने database installed है वो मुझे यहाँ से दिख रहा है by using the command show DBS. Okay. Now in order to create my database, I just have to write down use and the name of my database. If it is created, I can directly go into that particular database, or if it is not being created, it will create the database of that particular name. Okay, so I have written use webinar. तो वेबिनार करके कोई डेटाबेस था नहीं, ठीक है, यहाँ पे नहीं दिख रहा है आपको, लोकल MyDB और विनीता ही दिख रहा है. नाउ आई क्रिएटेड अ डेटाबेस बाय राइटिंग यूज डेटाबेस. तो वो बना हुआ नहीं था तो नया बन गया. और अगर बना हुआ है तो I will be switched to that particular database. Okay. Now, once your database is created in RDBMS, you will create a table. Now here we don't have a table. For table we have collection. ठीक है, मैंने कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट में लिखा है टेबल के जगह पे हमारे पास है कलेक्शन एंड उस कलेक्शन के अंदर होते हैं हमारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स. ओके, आरडीबीएमएस में क्या होता है, टेबल के अंदर होते हैं रोज एंड कॉलम्स. फाइन. नाउ हियर we will not have table but we will have collection, and inside that collection we will have documents, large volume of documents. Okay, so first I have to create my collection. First I will check whether I have a collection. No, I do not have a collection because I have created this database right now. So I have to create a collection. The command for creating a collection is db.create collection, and the name of the collection I am giving it as student. Okay, you can see there is a success message on my prompt. Okay, 1 मतलब एक collection मेरा create हो चुका है. Fine. Now I have to put a document into my collection. जैसे आप क्या करते हो RDBMS में, table create करते हो and table create करने के बाद you insert records into the table. Same way I have to create a document and I have to insert into my collection named student. So the syntax for inserting a document in my collection is see, I haven't written anything. मैं just explain करना चाहती हूँ. Student is my collection name and now I have to insert a document in my collection. Similarly, जब आप RDBMS में insert command लिखते हो, what you specify is insert into table name. तो वैसे ही यहाँ पे मुझे collection का नाम देना है, and then you have to pass the column name and the values. Same way, and उसके साथ आपको पहले create table करने के टाइम पे data type भी देना पड़ता था. But see, I didn't give any data type in my collection student, though it has been created successfully. Now let us see what is happening ahead. I'm putting 2 columns. Okay. What I did is I put a numeric value and I forget to put a double quote, तो उससे मुझे error दिया. ठीक है. So my first key and a value pair. Key का नाम है roll number and value है 101. Second है name, that is my key, and the value is Vinita. Fine. Now what happens in a MongoDB or in any NoSQL database, we don't have to specify the data type. Okay. The data type is being taken automatically by the data which we are putting into that particular document or the record we are inserting into our collection. Based on that value, the data type has been automatically being set. For example, जैसे कि मैंने roll number में लिखा 101, so it is in double quote, value आ गई as a string value. Okay. Now let us see something ahead. You should ask me questions after I am inserting my values into collection. Be ready for questions. Okay, now I inserted a second document with the key roll number 102, name Krishna, and technology interested in. Krishna can have more than one technology he may be interested in. So I mentioned Java and Python. Okay, now here you can see that I have put a square bracket in order to accommodate more than one value. Okay, what did I do over here? You are not asking me question, so I will be asking you question. यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया? I gave, I gave more than one value to a particular key. ठीक है, टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरेस्टेड इन कैन बी मोर देन वन. तो मैंने यहाँ पे क्या दिया? मल्टी वैल्यू दिया, मल्टी वैल्यू की एट्रीब्यूट दिया. दैट वन की कैन accommodate more than one value. But whenever I want to pass a collection or a set, I have to use my square bracket. ठीक है, and whenever I have to just mention my key value pair, I will be using it by using a curly bracket. अच्छा, अब हमने वैल्यू तो इंसर्ट कर दिया, अब मुझे व्यू करना है. फाइन. So what you write in your RDBMS is select star from table. Now here also, if I want to view from my document, I don't have a select star from table, but I have a different syntax, that is db.student.find. Okay, it is working same as select star from table. It will give you all the rows and all the columns from your particular collection. Okay, fine. You can see that the roll number is there, the name is there, the technology interested is also been there. ठीक है, अब इसको थोड़ा और अच्छा UI करने के लिए there is a command, pretty command here, to look it more in a prettier manner. You can see when I wrote .pretty, I am having a format for that particular data. थोड़ा उसने format करके मुझे return किया. Okay, now you saw something which is there in extra, जो मैंने insert ही नहीं किया था मेरे collection में. Has anybody observed? Yeah, very good. Okay, तो द ऑब्जेक्ट आईडी, मैंने ऐसा कोई कॉलम तो इंसर्ट ही नहीं किया था. ठीक है, मैंने क्या इंसर्ट किया? रोल नंबर एंड द नेम. सी, आई डिडंट मेंशन अ प्राइमरी की ऑल्सो. अगर मैं वापस 101 देती तो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, मुझे वहीं पे ही वो रिप्लेस नहीं करता, पर इट मेड मी अ न्यू रो ओनली. ठीक है, तो इट डजंट हैव अ प्राइमरी की कंसेप्ट ओवर हियर. मैंने ना डेटा टाइप मेंशन किया, ना मैंने प्राइमरी की मेंशन किया, ना मैंने साइज मेंशन किया, सब कुछ उसने ऑटोमेटिकली लिया. ठीक है, करेंटली हमने प्राइमरी की नहीं डिक्लेयर किया, बट देयर आर ऑप्शंस टू क्रिएट प्राइमरी की, बिकॉज प्राइमरी की चाहिए होता है when we want uniqueness in the data. But right now I haven't created a primary key. There are options, but here, as all have answered, that there is one extra value which automatically came in my result, that is underscore id. Now मैं तो भूल गई, पर MongoDB is very smart. It doesn't forget to create a primary key. I didn't mention the primary key, but MongoDB is creating a primary key for every document which I'm inserting into my database. Because उसको तो पता है कि बहुत सारा डेटा आने वाला है. And you can see the ID is also a long string. ठीक है, that long string is a combination of various things such as machine ID, session ID, process ID, and the row ID. You can see यहाँ पे we will not go into detail of this thing, but हम last 3 digit देखते हैं. 715, that row number 1, record number 1, then 716, that is record number 2. ठीक है, तो जैसे जैसे मेरे रिकॉर्ड्स जाएगा कलेक्शन में, ये जो काउंटर है वो इंक्रीमेंट होता हुआ जाएगा. ओके, 715, 716, फाइन. So it is giving me, currently we can understand that underscore id is like a primary key for my records, and it is internally handling my data based on this id. हम लोग इस id के साथ कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हैं अभी. Fine. Now I'm inserting one more record in a manner. अब मुझे ये पर्टिकुलर कॉलम नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है. Find.pretty P. The first had 2 column, roll number, name. The second document had 3 column, 3 key value pair, roll number, name, technology interested in. And again the third document doesn't have technology interested in. तो मैंने एक बार एक नया कॉलम किया, फिर वो कॉलम निकाल दिया. अच्छा, यही चीज RDBMS में करना होता तो सेकेंड जो डॉक्यूमेंट है उसी में मुझे ऑल्टर कमांड लिखना पड़ता. ऑल्टर कमांड, मॉडिफाई, ठीक है. एंड आई हैव टू थिंक अबाउट वन प्रॉब्लम. whenever I am putting a new column to my RDBMS table, I have to accommodate one problem. What is that problem? Whenever I put a new column to my RDBMS table, I have to think about something before putting a new column to my RDBMS table. Specific data type, okay. The biggest problem is that I have to think about the data which is already there in the table. जो टेबल में ऑलरेडी है उसके अंदर ये कॉलम की वैल्यू क्या होगा. ये कॉलम जो मैं नया ऐड कर रही हूँ उसकी वैल्यू क्या होगा. आई हैव टू पुट अ डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू, या तो वो ब्लैंक हो जाएगा. तो आई हैव टू थिंक अबाउट, अगर समझो कि 4 पेटाबाइट्स ऑफ डेटा है मेरे टेबल में. इफ फेसबुक इज यूजिंग RDBMS, 4 पेटाबाइट रिकॉर्ड्स है, एंड नाउ आई वांट अ न्यू कॉलम इनटू माय सोशल मीडिया. नया कॉलम इंसर्ट किया. अब थिंक अबाउट दैट 4 पेटाबाइट ऑफ डेटा, 4 मिलियन पेटाबाइट ऑफ डेटा विच इज देयर. उसको मैं अपडेट कैसे करूंगी. वो नया कॉलम में ऐड करूंगी और उसके अंदर क्या डिफॉल्ट मैं वैल्यू रख सकती हूँ. So that is a very big problem which is encountered in a relational database. And NoSQL database is very practical and very open-ended. जब आपको चाहिए तो आप वो कॉलम इंसर्ट करो, जब आपको नहीं चाहिए तो वो आप कॉलम नहीं इंसर्ट करोगे. Simple. It is not asking you to enter any default value. Okay, so the flexibility is over here that whenever I want to add a new key value pair, I can add. Whenever I don't require, I will just not enter that key value pair in my database. Okay, now I am representing in another form. Okay, now I inserted one more record, that is 104 roll number. ठीक है, और मैंने एड्रेस फील्ड डाला. ठीक है, now again I am putting my find.pretty and here you can see that मैंने वापस टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरेस्टेड ही नहीं डाला, बट मैंने एक नया कॉलम इंसर्ट किया डॉक्यूमेंट में, that is address. Again I have used my curly bracket. Or address, you know that if I am talking about, if I want to ask address of M.Sc, he may have to give a specific address. He may have a building name, he may have an area name, he may have a city, state, country. Fine. So I can say that address can have a complex value. It can have more than key value pair, one key value pair. तो वही चीज मैंने यहाँ पे किया है. My address can have street 1, that is Sopan, and my city is Ahmedabad. Okay. Now that type of data is also accommodated over here. I can say this is a nested array. Nested array भी मैंने insert किया. I haven't mentioned any data type. I haven't mentioned the size of my data type, though it is accommodating my data. Fine. So I just represented this way that I can give any raw data, I can give any random data, and though it is handling the data in a better manner. And there are various parameters to query our unstructured database or MongoDB. जब भी मुझे query करनी है I will put my query parameter in this find. Okay, find blank choda matlab select star from table. And if I put a curly bracket inside this, it is that I want a specific row or specific column. Okay, so that is about the find method. Now, now ये जो format है, can you resemblance this format with any particular format which you are knowing? ये जो फॉर्मेट आपको दिख रहा है डॉक्यूमेंट का की वैल्यू पेयर, वो कोई एक फॉर्मेट को रिसेंबल करता है. कैन यू नेम दैट फॉर्मेट? It is resembling a format of data. Yes, JSON format. Yeah. Good, Saurabh. Yes, Krishna, you want to ask anything? Associate array. Yeah, I can say it as nested array. And as Saurabh replied, JSON format. Some may be knowing, some may not be knowing that JSON format is always a collection of key value pair. But here in MongoDB, it is resembling JSON, but it is not JSON, it is BASIN, that is binary object. Fine. Here, all the data is converted into a binary form and then it is being processed further. So we can assume that when the data is converted into a binary format, the processing of the data happens almost very fast on a very high speed. Okay, though this format is resembling JSON, but this format is not BASIN, it is JSON, it is BSON. Fine, I'm putting into the chat. And the term BASIN came into picture with MongoDB itself. उसके पहले ये term कहीं पे था नहीं. Do Google and read about this particular term of how the data is being stored on it. Okay, is it clear, everybody? How we created a database, how we created a collection, how we inserted document. Now I am having 4 documents. Okay, document number 1 having the name Vinita, then Krishna, Isha and Marshi. So total I have 4 documents in my single collection. So जब मुझे column add करना है based on requirement, I may add. If not required, I may delete. Okay, so I can say the NoSQL database are flexible enough to have different form of data. Clear? Different way of data, different size of data. And there are various methods being available in order to handle and query the data. Right? That is a very, indeed a deep topic, so which can't be covered right now. So at my end, that was about introduction about MongoDB, hands-on MongoDB. Now, these are some of the tracks which have been offered by our department, M.Sc IT program. As I was talking about unstructured data using MongoDB, so we are providing specialization in data analytics and we are having a subject on Hadoop, Hive, machine learning and MongoDB. You can see MongoDB over here. So we teach MongoDB in the track of data analytics and we are giving the specialization on it. We also have a track of mobile computing where you can expertise in mobile development application using iOS, web service, PHP, Angular, Android. Another track which has been offered is web programming, which you are having latest technology like ROR, Ruby on Rails, Laravel, Magento, using MySQL. And the next track is about e-commerce. Okay, without e-commerce, we can't exist currently. Fine. So there are various applications and technology tools available in order to develop your e-commerce portals. You can see the images, Laravel, Python, Android. And the last track which has been offered by us in M.Sc IT program is IoT, that is Internet of Things. Internet of Things are also booming right now in the IT market, where I can handle my appliances sitting over here. I can manage my appliances at home by just a click on and off using my smartphone. Okay, so these are the tracks which are being offered by M.Sc IT program. Apart from this, we are also offering PGDCA courses. The students who are very passionate to join IT domain who are not coming from IT background. Commerce students, science students can also come to this IT field by joining PGDCA program, which is a 1 year course. And these are the applications and the tools which have been covered in PGDCA. And apart from this year the government has also announced that BSc students can also join MSc program, and the bridging course will be done by the MSc program itself. So the BSc students who are also passionate to join MSc can directly also apply to MSc program. So this year there is a change in the rule by the government. So passionate BSc students can also join MSc program, and you can see all the informations are being given on this particular poster. You can visit our website helpline number for the further information. Now, one last thing which I want to show you is, now after studying MongoDB or after studying this SQL database, what are the job offerings being available? So you can see the statistics over here. Okay, because this session was very introductory portion about what this unstructured database is and what is NoSQL database. But once you are through this particular course, or once you are through with MongoDB, what are the job of openings been available to you? See, and Google is very smart. It is giving me job opening near my location. So you can see there are various jobs being offered 1 day ago, 15 day ago, 3 day ago. So there are various jobs being posted on these portals for MongoDB itself. Okay, and you can also see, yeah, there are 5929 MongoDB openings. The Naukri.com has been providing. You can see the number, you can see the figure that there is a very huge demand of this particular profile. And there are various profiles being offered by the person who has worked in MongoDB. He can go into database development, he can go into data science, unstructured data management, and also there is a opening which are not very much known to students when they apply for the job. That is a mean stack developer. That is the person who know about sorry, the person who know about managing the data using website and the database can also go for a mean stack development. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि MongoDB पढ़ा मतलब सिर्फ डेटाबेस का ही आपके लिए जॉब ओपनिंग्स रहेंगे. Fine, you can also go for the web development and mobile development while you are learning your MongoDB. And one more thing which I want to mention is you can also see the salary being offered by the people who have worked or who are working on MongoDB. You can see wrote MongoDB salary. Okay, and here you can see this is the average, the maximum limit or the average. Yes, it depends what experience you have and what expertise you have in that particular domain. So you can see this is the offering being done by the many companies who are working on MongoDB. And if you want in India, you can also see you can have the figure, the 5-digit, 6-digit figures which have been offered by various companies while working on MongoDB as their domain. Okay, so it is a very good domain which you can explore. So go through various websites and its official websites which have been available. Okay, so that's all from my side. And thank you so much. And sorry for the interruption which happened in the morning. And thank you for keeping patience. Do join us on Facebook and other pages which have been available. Thank you, everybody. If you have any query regarding to unstructured database, MongoDB, admission process, or MSc PGDCA program, you are free to ask right now. Anybody who want to interact or want to ask about MSc program, admission or PGDCA program, or anything regarding the content which I conducted today? Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I hope nobody is having any query. If you want to ask, you can put down in the chat also. Yes, Jamin is asking that regular colleges, we are going to start our PGDCA from 30th July, that is from Thursday. And on the first week of August, we will be starting our MSc IT program. Because we had various requests for the delay. So from the first week of August, we will be starting with semester 1 MSc IT program. Yes, PGDCA is still on. Okay. Any other queries? Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me and being patient to me. Thank you. You may leave now. Thank you so much. Thank you.